The other season is upon us, and it's one season that I normally miss, to be honest, because of holiday commitments. But this year I've decided to make a little bit of an effort and try and capture the heather. So this morning we head up to Stanton Moor, where we do actually capture the heather, and then we move into the woodland.
Good morning. Today I'm at Stanton Moor with friends. I've got Martin, Dave Peck, and we've also got Paul, Peak District Photography here as well. So he's actually showing us around some other locations later on. But first of all, we're going to try and shoot some heather, silver birch, some woodland, etc. Sunrise, got here silly early in the morning. So let's crack on, see what I can find. So we've all took a shot of this one subject this morning, all got different images with the heather.
Well, I did manage to actually capture one of my favourite heather shots of all time. And here it is.
But we've all moved on now, and I've actually lost them, don't know where they've gone. But I found this scene here, it looks fantastic. The characters of the silver birch, I think that actually the one in the middle, I'm not sure if it is silver birch, I don't think it is actually. Anyway, but we've got some right characters here, all sort of reacting with each other or interacting with each other. And we've got some lovely light just starting to come through, and I think as the light gets a little bit better, I'm going to grab a few more different shots. I'm hoping it can just penetrate through these trees and maybe just add another dynamic to the images, to be honest with you. But we've got a rock in the foreground as well, got a broken silver birch that's still growing, that's trying to grow with all this interaction, but there's a pretty decent bit of separation. It's got a little bit of everything, and I like it. Some nice soft morning light. So I'm definitely going to stop here for 10 minutes and just try and work the scene a little bit. There's some highlights coming through the woodland, but you know what? It is what it is. I don't mind that too much if it's that nice soft golden light. That's okay. Just need it to just penetrate a little bit more. What I'm thinking of with this foreground rock, from up high, watch your steps on, from up high, it's too separated with the wide angle lens. It's too far away from the other subjects. If I come down low, it works a lot better, but it's getting too much highlights into the sky. Like I say, that light is critical, but at least we join the rock and the subjects a bit closer together. There's just a little bit too much gap. I'm going to try and work in, try and see if I can incorporate the rock. If I can't, I can't. Not a problem. Really, really, really nice. Couple of images there. Let's move on. Try and make the most of this morning light. Looks fantastic. Looks fantastic.
So even though I really like this image, I actually prefer this next image, which is a cropped image of the first one, which excludes the rock from the foreground. My favourite part of the shot is actually the backlit leaves on the character on the left hand side, and then that broken tree and how it all interacts together. Let me know your thoughts, which one you prefer. I was editing the video and I realised I wanted to talk a little bit more about this last image and why I prefer it without the rock. And what I'm going to do is go over a little final edit with it as well, just to show you how I edited this image. So let's jump into Lightroom, have a look at the image, edit it, and then discuss the composition as well. So I've got it up in Lightroom. Let's get on with the process of editing this image, and I'll actually have a look at the composition and why I prefer it without the rock in the foreground. So I'm just going to zoom out to the image and have a little look at it first. And when I was on site, when I was on location, I actually mentioned about the rock being too far away from the main subject. And in the back of my mind, I knew that was the case, but I've still tried to incorporate the rock. And in hindsight, I wish I'd have took that shot with the rock and then moved forward a little bit and just took the shot of these main subjects of trees interacting with each other. So I'd already made my mind up, but let's get into the edit. So I've done one or two local adjustments, just simple local adjustments, dropped the DA's clarity, brought the blacks up, just little things like that. Nothing more than that. Then what I'll do is I'm just going to send it into Photoshop. So I get it into Photoshop and I'll do my normal sort of Autumn effect. So I'm just going to rush through that with you. Now, if you want to know more about how I do my Autumn effect, then the best thing to do is join my community area on YouTube, and where there's videos out there that I do this technique. So I'm just going to go through it quickly. So just drop the effect on that I do in Photoshop. I'll also remove things in Photoshop if I need to. It doesn't look like I need anything removing in this image. So back into Lightroom. We're back in Lightroom. We've lost a little bit of contrast and things like that, so we need to bring them back in. So what I'm going to do first, I'm just going to bring the exposure up a little bit, like so. I'm going to actually bring the highlights up a little bit. I actually love how these leaves on this tree are backlit, and the interaction between this section here. This was always the appeal to me, but I've tried to force this rock into the image. I'm not saying it doesn't work, but I think it works better with the rock out of the image. I'm going to up the texture a little bit as well, just like so, just a little bit. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to the colour grading section, click on the highlights. I'm going to look at the luminosity of the highlights, what it actually changes in the image, and I actually quite like it if I lift them up a little bit, but I'm also going to add a little bit of colour to that. So I'm just going to bring a nice warm morning colour, which it was that time of the morning. I'm just going to emphasize that colour, and I'm just going to bring that colour up till I quite like the colour, somewhere like that, and it's making these leaves pop even more. If I just switch that off, it's just brought that image to life. I'll go into the midtones and I'm going to have a look again. I'm just going to move the luminosity of the, I'm just going to have a little look, and I actually like it just slightly less luminosity, but I'm probably going to try and add a little bit of that morning glow to it as well. Again, like that, beautiful. We'll just have a look what that's done. It's really brought the image to life in colour, and added contrast. So we'll just add, have a look at the shadows. I don't want to drop the shadows down too much because we've got quite a dark shadow there. So I'm actually going to leave that as is. I'm quite happy with the shadows. What I'm going to do though is just add a little hint of blue to the shadows. So I'm going to pick a nice blue colour. I'm just going to up the saturation on that just slightly. Okay, we'll just have a little look before and after, and I think that's give it so much more punch. And the image is nearly there really. I'm just going to make it more, I want to give it a little bit more depth with this light coming through from the one side. So let's go up to the filters, the masking area of Lightroom, and we're going to select some masks and add them to the image. So I'm going to have a radial grad. Sun's coming in from this left hand side, so I'm going to make it look as if it's just glowing that a little bit more. So I've added a real big grad to that left hand side, just up the exposure just slightly. If we just up the blacks as well, that gives it that soft morning glow trying to beam through. And then obviously we need a little bit of sun colour in there, not too much, something like that. That's very nice indeed. Again, we'll just have a look at the before and after. Just add a little bit of dynamics to that left hand side where the light's coming through. Next thing I'm going to do is select some more radial grads, but I just want to highlight some of these areas that are catching the sun. So I'm going to actually put the radial filter, and I'm going to put it in this area here, and I'm going to bring up the exposure because the light's coming through there, but it's also affecting the shadows, and I don't want it to affect these shadow areas. So if I go up to the mask and click it, subtract, luminosity, click on the shadows. Now if I write that right up, it's not affecting the shadow, it's only affecting the areas of light, which is where the sun's coming through. And I just want to emphasize that. And obviously I want to give it a little bit of a color as well, that nice morning glow come through. So that's quite nice there. I'm also going to add a radial grad over all of that, but then just lift it just slightly with a little bit of colour, just slightly. The next thing I want to do is emphasize these leaves. So again, another radial grad just over the leaf area. And then what I'm going to do with that is, if I right click on the mask, intersect with, colour range, and then what I need to do is zoom right in, move over to the leaves and select the colour of the leaves, like so. Brilliant. Come back out. And then what I can do is bring the exposure up on those leaves to make them leaves pop that a little bit more, but I also need that bit of colour. So we're just bringing that up slightly as well. Fantastic. If we just have a little look at that, it's just made them leaves stand out that little bit more, just highlighting those leaves. That is it. Fantastic. The next thing I'm going to discuss is, just remove everything, composition. Now for me, there's nothing in this bottom area at all. So if we grab the crop tool, I would lift that crop up like so. That would be one crop, that would be one image, and I'm quite happy at that. But, and this is what I was on about in the actual video itself, where I actually think there's nothing in this area here. Now what we could do is add a bit of highlight in this area, I suppose. So if we get a radial grad, bring that up a bit, add a little bit of highlights there, shadows again, just give a bit of a light that gives it contrast and sort of fills the area in, but I still think it's empty. This area here is empty. If we have a look at the crop, and this is where I should have done it in the field, and I didn't. If we crop in from there to, so let me just go back. So we're getting rid of the distractions, we're getting rid of this rock, and we've also getting rid of these two trees on the right hand side, because again there's a little bit of separation there. So if we come in something like that, now we can also come in from this this left hand side just a little bit, just to get a little bit of balance from here and here. Just come in. If we have a look at the actual crop, it's something like 16 by 9. There we go, it's a 16 by 9. So I'm looking at distance from right to left, which is even. The main subject's on that third, just going to move over, and then we've got another subject on the other third. It works so much better. I should have done it in the field. The good thing is, because of my camera is a 60 megapixel thing, I can heavily crop and not worry about it too much. So that has helped me with my cropping and my editing. But like I say, what I should have done was move forward, got rid of that and had that composition set in the camera. So lesson learned there. And I think that image is so much better. I've got rid of that distraction, that nothing in that bottom left hand side. I hope it's helped you out a little bit as well with the composition. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Check out my members area as well. I do videos like this, and if there's anything you want me to do and explain in the members area, then I'll do that for you on a personal level as well. Okay, thank you. See you soon.